All right, we are live. Welcome, family, to another show, a very important show, man, because today we have launched the Indiegogo campaign for the BMT Mobile App. This is a special day, man. You see, I got my bifocals on today. This is going to be a very intelligent conversation with my brother Lester Mitchell. How you doing today, brother?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing just fine. Like I say, man, I got my glasses on. I know when I have my old crypto shows, I used to throw the glasses on, man. But everything is good with me out here in Brazil. Now, you're currently in Africa, right?
Yes, I'm in West Africa, the Gambia,
Mm-hmm.
to be specific.
Mm-hmm. The Gambia. Wow, that's a nice little stretch, man. Do you like living out there so far?
Yeah, I like living out here, but I think mostly it's because my house is like a block away, a city block away from the ocean. So I get a lot of peace and quiet where I'm at.
Oh, nice, nice. Now, have you been in anywhere else in Africa before you decided to move permanently to the Gambia? They call it the Gambia,
No,
right? Or they call it just Gambia?
it doesn't matter.
Okay,
It
cool.
doesn't matter. I think they want the respect, of other countries, even though it's the smallest country in Africa. So they want you to say the. But here, everybody just says Gambia.
Nice, nice, man. And what made you like that final decision to get out of America and to move permanently to the Gambia?
Right. So I think we all know some of the. I've been here for 1 year
Hmm.
exactly,
Okay.
and we all know some of the things that were going on in America, 1 year
Facts.
ago.
Facts.
But uh, that wasn't enough to make me move all seven of us to Africa to live. There was
Hmm.
also the fact that my wife has a brain tumor, and they wanted to
Hmm.
do brain surgery to remove it, and
Hmm.
she wasn't with that. She wasn't with that. She had bad experiences at some hospitals, and so she kind of convinced me, to make the move. And once I was on board, I was like, "Nah, you sure you want to do this? Because if you tell me to do it, we're gonna do it."
Hmm.
So, if you take all of the and West Africa actually has alternative methods than brain surgery,
Hmm.
so we just made the move.
Okay, cool, 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 man. That is a major move, man. It takes a lot of courage, man. So, uh, I'm glad you out there outside the matrix, and you're right. They do have a lot of more alternatives out there in the motherland versus in the West, man. I tell people all the time, you actually have cancer curing fruits out here in Brazil, but we know nothing of it,
Mhm.
over there in the States, because in the States it's all about that almighty dollar, and the pharmaceutical companies making that almighty dollar, and they're being pushed by the doctors and everybody else, so that doctor more likely wants a private boat than to make sure that you're healthy, right? Because if you get healthy, you don't need them no more. So that's definitely the case, man. So tell us, man, how long have you been in the tech industry?
Tech industry since 2008. So
Hmm.
what's that?
That's
14,
like
14
almost,
years.
yeah, close to 14 years. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a good little minute, man. Now, what motivated you to pursue a career in IT?
You know what got me through the doors at the training facility before
Hmm.
college
Hmm.
was just how much money these cats was making.
Hmm.
How much money I was hearing that IT professionals made.
Hmm.
Now that's just to get you interested, But once you're interested and you start learning all of the different avenues, all of the different aspects you need to know to to get to a professional level, then some people might not stay motivated. But I stayed
Hmm.
motivated because it became fun learning different technologies, sometimes totally different concepts. You know, still IT, but coming from front end or back end, or you know, all kinds of stuff, all of the different tools, and it just became fun.
Okay, and so your title is a software engineer, correct?
Yes, I'm a software engineer, also IT operations specialist. Those are the main two titles.
Okay, so I think the mobile app kind of kicked off in what, about 2010, 2012, right around that time people started downloading apps and having apps on their phone. Right around that time
That's
frame?
when it boomed. It was out around 2010. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, was that like a major transition for you? Because I think you said offline that you were developing like websites and stuff like that first. Was that like a major complication, or you had to go back to school to develop the apps or anything like that?
No. Once you have the fundamentals, then it's just about learning what flavor they're trying to present. So if you can do web design, yeah, you can jump over to mobile apps.
Okay. And what companies have you developed apps for so far?
So far, just two major automotive companies, GM and Ford.
Oh wow, that's big time. Now that's got to be like a major a major job, right?
Yeah, but you got a team, you got all the resources that you need. You know, if somebody comes in the door and say, "Hey, can you crank this out sooner?" and you come back with, "Yeah, can you give me this?" So everybody is on the team. You got the right synergy. Yeah, but sometimes it could get hectic.
Because I'm pretty sure they got like deadlines and all that good stuff. Because that's a lot of pressure, man, to develop a mobile app for such a big company like GM and Ford. That's a lot of pressure. That's a big company.
But yeah, they go through different ideas, like a lot. So it's like, so you make something for them, and then they'll be like, "We're gonna go with this other thing."
Okay.
Turnaround time is fast. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let me ask you this: like, what are like some general costs of how much costs to develop some of these mobile apps?
Well,
I know
I have to
the
give
social
you
networks, so that's like a different scenario. But I asked you that secondly, what it costs to do a social network, but just in general, mobile apps. And I know it depends on what type of app, but just general costs.
Now, this is a range, and I mean it's a range, anywhere from 2,500 to 125,000. Yeah. So you can go with a quick and easy approach, maybe outsource overseas, and end up with a subpar product, but you only spent a little bit of
I did previously, like me and Cardell did previously with our previous mobile app.
Yeah. You can go middle of the road, spend your decent amount of money and get a good app, or you can spend a whole lot of money and buy all the infrastructure to go with it, and then you'll own all the data, you own everything, but you're gonna spend some money.
Okay. And for I would say somewhat small, to build a small social network, I would say anywhere from 20,000 people to 50,000 to hold the data and all the information. What would that cost?
Yeah, so 20,000, 50,000, that's, I won't say small, but run you around 50,000 if you want the good infrastructure to support it, and all of the data that'll be generated from about 50,000 users. Or 20, you said 20 or 30,000 users. Yeah.
So yeah, man. What are some of the benefits in like actually controlling, because we've been having problems with Facebook, with our our social network or our community on Facebook. And sometimes it's difficult towards the first group. Like I told you before, it got shut down. It was closing on close to 9,000 members, and they shut it down for whatever reason they wanted. They said it was for nudity, but it was no nudity. They just decided to shut it down. And we're getting like little issues with the second community that we have. So what are some of the benefits of actually controlling your own network without any oversight for some of the major guys?
Well, you're not only driving the car, but you got the keys. You can drive the car, and if somebody else can shut it off, then you're really still not in control. So if you own all of the infrastructure, all of the code, and all of the data generated, then you're driving the car and you got the keys.
Very good point. And that's exactly what we need, man. I know we was having a discussion before, and I was asking you, I was like, man, why don't we have our own version of Facebook? China has their own version of Facebook. Russia has their own version of Facebook. But why don't, African Americans and people of color, don't we have our own information network, basically? Why don't we control our information? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, they would definitely section off and create their own version of a social network, right? They wouldn't let us control their information. But I think that goes over, some guys' heads because they don't understand. And they would say things, well, man, Facebook free. Man, Facebook costs millions of dollars to develop. It costs millions of dollars a day to run with all that information on the Facebook. So just to give you guys some insight that, it costs to house information, to have a social network. Now we're going to go into some of the features. Now, guys, real quick, and take a quick break. Some of the perks, all right. If you donate $25, all right, you're going to have access to the mobile app for 6 months for free. Now, we know some of them 3 months is going to be in the beta stage, right, Les? It's going to be that first 3 months going to be in beta, kind of like testing out phase.
Yes.
Okay. So then you get an additional 3 months where everything should be, fine. So you're helping us out, sending us emails. Hey, this might not be working, this feature right here. We're going to get all the quirks out in that first 6 months. So anything over $25, and if you do donate to Cash App, make sure you email us at blackmantravels@gmail.com. Now, another perk would be for anything $50 and over, I will send you a discount code for a free Black Man Travels t-shirt as well. So that's just some of the perks right there. Now, let me ask you this, bro, just to get back some to the tech history. It's not a lot of people of color or African Americans in the tech industry right now. I know I read an article by Wired magazine that said it's only about 6% of minorities that are in Silicon Valley, with 16% being in the tech field overall. Now that's, keep in mind, those are minorities. Those are not Black people per se. Those are Latinos, just other races too. And why do you think not enough of us are going into this new emerging field, which is going to be extremely important in this new age?
I'll give you the quick answer, then I'll give you a story. So the quick answer is math involved. A whole bunch of Black kids particularly, and you tell them you can do any subject that you want to do today. Not that many of them going, would you say 6%? About 6% of them will say, yeah, I want to do math problems all day. So that's the quick answer as to why you're looking at low numbers. That's just only from one perspective. But my story and that's the only story I can tell you is my own personal experience. Is I started off um, in a nonprofit organization that were training Black kids from Detroit, and we started off with about 20 young men and women. Some of them was old men and women. Started out with about 20 folks, and by the time they was handing out $60,000-$70,000 jobs, it was only 4 of us left. You know, and it's because, like I said, it's math. You know, it's problem solving, it's critical thinking, and it's hours upon hours of it. Because I think I said this earlier, you can't just go down one avenue. Say just take uh, 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 you can't just know databases and say, oh, I'm an IT professional and I can do it all. Now you actually have to learn several other disciplines, and so it compounds. And so I think the complexity of the material is why you see such a low percentage. Now, that's just from my perspective. Some people they blame other things, but I'm saying once you in the room and you got to get from point A to point B, somewhere along the line, you might drop out because it's hard.
Now, do you think that this is maybe an educational system problem with the public school system, to where the kids might not be, able? You think that's the reason that they're not, going to tech?
Of course, it starts there. If you, like I said, if you in school, if you particularly in a Black school, but really any school, and you are Black, and they start teaching you math at not the same pace as other schools, then you're starting out with a deficit in understanding. You're starting out with a deficit in exposure to concepts. So now, when you're trying to enter the professional world, they're not giving credit for that. They expect everybody to know, some of the concepts to a certain degree, right? So if you're starting from a deficit, obviously you got to start back, let's say at algebra trig, when your counterparts may be starting at calculus 2. And I'm going deep. If we're talking about, algorithms and deep coding and complicated stuff, maybe machine learning and data science. The math concepts, it takes a while for Black kids, I think, to close the gap, because the public schools, for some reason, didn't prepare us. I'll include myself. There was a whole lot of stuff I had to go back and teach myself.
Yeah, man. Most definitely, man. I remember when I first got to college, I was just overwhelmed, bro. I was bombing classes left and right. I was like, yo, did I learn anything in high school? Like, what is this? Like, whoa. Like, for the first time in my life, I really felt like, okay, do I need to be in special ed or something? Like, this is going right over me, but it's some truth to that. Because, America, I saw a video that went viral, and it was an Asian guy on the video. And he was saying that America pretty much outsources their tech talent, right? Like, all these companies are hiring people from India or Japan to work in Silicon Valley. And it's like, why not pull from the crop you have here, domestically? What is it about their educational system? Because I refuse to believe that these people are just inherently more intelligent than us. You see what I'm saying? But that's the way it was seen. You go to Silicon Valley and you don't see nobody of color representing you at a Facebook or Instagram or something like that. And then when it comes down to it, what it all comes down to, in my opinion, is information, right? We don't control any information. We cannot communicate amongst each other without some form of interference, because we don't own any major platforms to where we can communicate on. You see what I'm saying? So, to make a nutshell, I would say that you're absolutely right, because none of us are going into these companies and trying to raise money to develop our own social networks, because they want to keep us on their social networks. That just makes more sense. But now things have changed. Now, I'm pretty sure when these apps first came out and these social networks first really dropped, because social communities have been around for a while. I remember Black Planet. That was kind of a form of Facebook, in my opinion, back in the day, right? But now it's it's a little bit cheaper. I think I lost him. He gonna come back in. Don't worry, fellas. I'm in Brazil. He's in the Gambia, so we kind of we kind of all over the place with the Wi-Fi right now. So let me catch some in the chat. I want to give a shout out to Peachtree Ministries. That must be my neck of the woods, man. Shout out to Peachtree Ministries. Oh yeah, it is my neck of the woods. Shout out to Peachtree Ministries with a $5 super chat with the Coca-Cola sign. All right. All right. Well, listen. So we're gonna wait for him to come back in. Hopefully he can get his internet going, family. But this is a very, very extremely important thing that we're doing here, man. What I want to do is basically build trust among a brotherhood. Now, 25 grand, this guy does charge more than that. Like you said before, he's developed major applications for Ford and GM, but he's working with me and Cardell. He's a friend of Cardell. So we're going to be working alongside him, in developing a really good mobile app. I'm going to give you some of the core features now. I'm not going to give you every feature, because this is a public space that we're in, and we can't sign everybody to an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. So some of the core features of the mobile app, here's go Les, he's back in. Some of the core features would be definitely the geotagging, so you can see other members, you can turn it on and off, all right, and being able to network on a private community, a private social network, and some other features. It's benefits. We're going to have a resource center available after phase 3. Let me bring Les back in the room. And within that resource center, you will have benefits that will save you money, and you will have benefits that will actually make you feel safer in your travels, right? You will have lawyers on day. All this stuff is going to be in development. Like I said, we can't give you all the features of it, but these are some of the core features that we decided to do. So Les, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool. I forgot what we left off at, but I was just telling them some of the core features as far as the geotagging and the private social network, and it being owned by us, basically, and the benefits of being able to communicate without any outside tampering or interference. You know what I'm saying? This can grow into something really large, man. You're talking about being able to communicate with guys all over the world on a private network, which is, to me, is worth its weight in gold. And we're starting off low with $25,000 for the phase 1 to be able to build y'all trust. We're not asking you for $1 million or $100,000. This is just the first phase. All right, family. So, hopefully we can build this trust, and we can start to build more and more and be able to raise capital. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. He raised $1 million for a museum. Somebody had mentioned that in the group. But I will say, I believe most of them donations possibly came from women. We as a group of Black men, we got to get past this distrust that we naturally have for each other, man, because it's really holding us back. I was talking to one guy in the group, and he was just saying, all this negative stuff. I'm like, bro, you're a naysayer. All right, we're going to develop this app with or without you. It's not even a question. The app is going to be developed. All right, with the 25 grand, that's going to give us, enough money to build a really nice app for the family, and it's going to give us enough money to be able to spread out a couple of months. We can pay people to monitor the app. We can pay people to be work within the resource center, so they can make calls to different hotels. They can say, hey, man, we got 10,000 people on this mobile app within this social traveling group. Can we get discount out here at the Hilton in Brazil? Can we get discount here at the Windsor in Colombia or something? This is what we're working on, So real quick, man, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. Les, you back, bro?
I'm back. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
What's
man.
up?
So as far as the mobile app, some would say that, okay, guys, why don't you just build like a little website and we all go to the website? Tell us the difference between having an actual mobile app in the app store and just having a random website.
Well, the difference is actually changing as we speak, but in terms of accessibilities, everybody knows that you can go to the App Store, download the app. If I tell you about it, you can go to App Store, download the app. And sometimes you stumble on stuff, right, without even anybody even saying anything. But if I have a website, you got to know that website name, and you got to type it in right, you know. And so the major difference, because they're both can function the same way, right? But the major difference is if you got the app, more people can find you.
Most definitely, most definitely. And it's a level of professionalism that's with that. I'm with you, and most with really don't do websites like that no more. You know, like people go on the App Store and they download the app. Instagram could technically be on a website. Facebook could technically be just on a website, right? But you like to see that on your icon on your phone. Click on it, and you feel like you in another space. You got to have a real form of a digital land space, as versus you just going to a random website, like you said, going to the browser every day. You type it in the browser, you forget about it. No, man, we're going to do something big. We're going to do a mobile app for the family. This is what we decided to do, you know. So yeah, man. I really don't have too many questions. I'm gonna look at the chat to see if they got some questions. How much is our monthly subscription? We're discussing $7.50 right now, brother. We're discussing that. All right. Shout out to Tristan LeBlanc. He says, I like channels like this. Marky Benji say IT work ain't cheap. I know you can attest to that. I mean, let me ask you this, man. How many man hours does it take to build let's just go with the app we're doing, the social network app. How many man hours does it usually take?
Depends on how many people you got working on it. But let's just round ballpark 130.
Okay, nice.
130.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, man. Well, once again, bro, I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. What time is it out there in Africa right now?
8:36.
Oh, that's not too bad. You are 2 hours ahead of Brazilian time. So I believe you're 4 hours ahead of the East Coast. That's not too bad, man. It's not bad as Asia or something. You're 12 hours ahead. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, no, if I was 12 hours ahead, I'd be in the bed right now.
I already know, bro. Well, once again, man, I want to really appreciate you for working with me and Cardell in developing this, man. I'm super excited about this project. I just want to prove to the people that, hey, we can raise money, we can develop something on our own, and we can make something polished and professional. You know, no janky stuff here, bro. You know, our own private social network. We don't have to get worried about being banned from Facebook or banned from Instagram because we are just men traveling the world, you know. So it's a lot that comes along with that: freedom, independence, and to say, hey, man, you hear about this BMT app, bro? Yeah, it's a private little network we own, bro. Like that's a major move. So I definitely want to appreciate you, brother, for coming and working with me, Cardell, and the BMT family.
You're most welcome.
All right, man. Appreciate that. Stay on, man. We're going to talk after the show.
Okay.